It's BDevine. I hope that you're doing okay. So I have just made a video on a little bit about the new moon in Libra. And this new cycle is an ignition point. For a lot of you, you're going to be ignited into forward movement, or something is going to make you feel like you're erupting inside a little bit as well. I know today that I had a huge hissy fit at the universe, and I'm just like, right? Now, I also am smart enough to know, after all of this time, that sometimes the biggest changes happen to us when we literally stop trying to hold it all together all of the time, right? We literally stop trying to control the situation or be good or be careful or be strong or whatever we're doing. Just go, you know what, to hell with it. I am sick of this, right? And it starts to come out. And everybody starts being crotchety around you. So you're like, for crying out loud, leave me alone, right? So it starts happening. Even the dogs are like, yeah, we're just gonna really get under your skin right now. Now, a lot of this is because you're pushing yourself towards a massive change. A lot of this is because of the work that we did on the 19th of October with this 7 flames activation. Now, I can't express to you how important it is that you become a part of this, because this is so much powerful work. It is so life-changing. It is so fun to connect with each one of you. It is so deep what we get to do. And of course, the explanations are there and PDFs and all kinds of things. And I'm really trying my best to make it inexpensive so that so many more people can come. I'd really like to get to a point where, you know, all I have to do is teach and everybody can start doing this stuff, right? But if you want to connect with me live, right, come to those once a month flame tier webinars. I will give you a little bit of what we did yesterday. So I wrote a post this morning on Patreon, and so Patreon's the best place to go because I've been on there for 6 or 7 years now, maybe a little bit longer than that. So there's tons of archives of work and even other webinars and things that I've done throughout all of those years. And you'll have access to the library, as well as the last webinar we just did, as well as the one before that, which was the convergence, and anything else. So I've only just created this flame tier because we need to be doing this work more powerfully as a group. Okay, so what we did yesterday and why life might feel different or frustrating today. Yes, we have this manipulation of the moon, right? But what we did yesterday wasn't just energy work or a class or whatever. It was an ancient flame technology ceremony, cracking open false realities and reactivating original power, working with the dragons as well. So the dome fracture we did first. There was 7 keys. We broke the grid system around the dome, around humanity. It kept us looping back in fear and lack and forgetfulness. Now, whenever there's a collective finishing of something, it's like it always is like, but is there something else that's going to come up? And you, like I said, you might get all haywire today because of the energy that's done yesterday. But when we do this work, we literally crack things and it takes a minute for things to catch up. So the observer flame was something else that we did. We become the one who sees without being controlled. No more reacting, right? We stay understanding of our energy of architecture, of the consciousness as well. We opened the dragon breath. Okay, so all of these have a protocol with them, a little talk about them and how it all works, etc. And this opens our manifestation power, our courage, soul fire in our voice and body as well. We opened up the mirror fire, facing the true self, right? No more hiding, no more masks. Everything not aligned in your highest identity is being burned away rapidly. So you may, in some sense, just be very, very clear about what you're doing, right? And in other ways feel like, hang on, why is this thing still bothering me? Why is this still annoying me, kind of thing, right? So you've just got to analyze and work out those things. Then we moved into the vault of sudden wealth, opening ancient flame vaults, wealth timelines tied to soul contracts, destiny, inheritance, unexpected money, support, compensation, all of this being unlocked, and that things start to arrive. We pierced holes in the veil, not thinned it, we perforated this, which brings a glitching of reality. Things start changing, things start shifting, future timelines coming in. We start to, instead of like, what do you call it? Quantum jumping or whatever, we start to bring towards us that which we want rather than chasing after it. We brought in the energy of the truth around Halloween and Samhain. That Samhain was never about death, it was about resurrection, the night the world returns, when the flame architects, all of you, step into full power and reset reality. And we're doing it, right? So much stuff in one webinar. The flame tier is unlike any other space because we embody power. The timelines collapse fast. The old patterns die naturally. The destiny activates within each one of you. The wealth flows through the soul alignment. The gifts explode without having to force them. And you're prepared for things. And so it sort of equals resurrection, sovereignty, wealth, prophecy, power. All these things start coming in. And again, you can feel the ignition because there's all this stuff. Whenever you're about to push yourself forward, there's all this stuff that tries to pull you all the way back. So it's like just before the miracle occurs, right? We get all of this energy pushing at us. Part of that is because of the collective work. The collective work really pushes the boundaries, the control mechanisms, right? And really shakes those control mechanisms, and it's not used to it. It's used to just being able to manipulate all of us. And these energy systems are not just the Rockefellers or, you know, the Illuminati or whatever you want to call it, right? It's deeper than that. And those systems have been in place for a really long time. And they do not like me telling you, okay, exactly how to activate yourself. They want us all to play the game. When you're simply not on the board, you can't be manipulated unless you want to be, right? Falling into it or falling into the fear. We've all done that with regards to money or whatever, and it's just not there. And there's just so many more things that come out than go in. I had this myself. I have it all the time. There's always a juggling act going on, and I'm always trying to be positive about it, but there's always a juggling act going on all the time. And I've literally this morning, I'm just like to the universe, really? You know? And I knew that the moment that I was doing that and finally just firing off or whatever else, that it was because of the things that we'd had done yesterday, and also that the manipulation or the moon coming, and the moon coming to put some emotion or draw emotion out of you or whatever it is, comes so that you'll believe that whatever it is that you've been working on hasn't worked. So you'll dip back down or spiral back down. And I've learned so much over the years that sometimes you have to blow your top, and that is actually a good thing, that the guardians around you, okay, create sometimes that kind of chaos. Not testing so much, but like allowing you to figure things out. See where you're at, right? See whether you are going to give up or whether you're going to keep going, or if you're going to go in a different way because this way is not working. What are you going to be bringing forward, right? This is what happens as we move and advance on our spiritual pathway, right? So these old patterns and these old things, okay, so we might do a severing of those old things, but that doesn't mean that the echoes of them are not still trying to remain active somehow. I guess that's the way we can put it. So, your old limitations, your old way of doing things, the old fears that come to the surface, the old issues that always turn up, right? The things that drive you crazy, all of these have to be examined in a way so that you can just leave it behind you. Collapse, collapse, collapse. We're always going to have, as part of our growth, there's always going to be some kind of challenging situation that we haven't asked for. It might involve somebody else, right? We haven't exactly asked for that to occur. And therefore, it doesn't feel like it's our stuff, but yet we have to deal with it. And sometimes people like to push that stuff on you because they see you as the strong one, or someone that could take it, or someone that's capable, or whatever. And meanwhile, you might be someone who's like, but why am I always having to be the one that does all of this and sorts all of this out, right? These roles are going to start to change. And I did a few cards for the new moon in Libra, and I'm going to do a few more. But first, I want to do two things, okay, 2 breaths techniques. So what we're going to do is a prophecy breath, okay? So what we do is we draw in or inhale for 11 seconds. And I know that that's hard to do it for 11 seconds, so just do the best that you can. We're going to be slowly drawing in, right? So you just, whenever you get to the top of it, just hold it. And then we're going to hold it for 5, and then we're going to let it out for 11. At the same time, we're imagining that in our heart space, that we have a red flame that is just engulfing us. So as we breathe in, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger around our heart space, gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We get this red flame, and then when we blow out, we're blowing out all of the old contracts, okay? So breathe in gently. Hold. Okay, breathe out the old contracts. Harder when you do a longer breath. Okay, breathing in gently for 11, and the red flame engulfing around. Hold for 5. and out for 11. All the old contracts. Okay, tingly face. This is a prophetic breath. Although we're just bringing ourselves into an awareness of a red flame, right? Expanding and out. It's because you are doing a longer intake, a longer hold, and then a longer outtake. It does something to remove obstacles in your brain. So you're only focusing on this, and it allows a space to open around your third eye. And this is where you're going to feel it too. All right. So we ended up with 4 cards in the last message. It was Pluto, it was Libra, Aries, Pluto, oh, and Scorpio. Those were the 4 cards that we got. Let's see what comes up for this. Pisces, the moon, of course. Oh my God. Leo, and progressions. Okay, so another take on it. So we have Pisces, again, a water sign coming up here with the moon of perception. Tomorrow is a Libra moon on the 21st of October, and it is a harmonizing type of a new moon. But it is asking you to look at the way in which you receive information and what you're going to do with it. The energy of the moon is created for us every 2 weeks to be going through some kind of release or some kind of acceptance or some kind of pain or some kind of grief or some kind of letting go in order for something else to begin. And the Pisces and the sensitive energy of the Pisces reminds me of waves crashing against a rock. And although the water is so soft, right, eventually over time, the more times the waves crash onto the rock, right, the softer and smoother the rock becomes. And so this is also talking about determination, like eventually you're going to dissolve all of the outer surfaces of things and get to the root of the situation. As my husband would say, the rut. You get to the rut of it. The root of the situation. And understand why things happen the way that they happen. There's definitely a sensitive energy with Pisces of looking at the self in too close of an examination, if you ask me. There can be a habit in that Piscean energy, which is what some of you may be doing, of that too close of an examination or turning something around and believing that it's your fault somehow. It's like a lot of self-sabotage is more to the point. So these particular sets of cards here are angular. No, that's not the word I wanted to use. Angular? Okay. All right, I'm receiving a message that it's angular. What does that mean? Comes from many different ways. There's adjacent possibilities. There's extra possibilities here that you're not seeing, is the message I'm getting. Something is angular. Yeah, just meaning it isn't or hasn't been smooth. There's been all of these different ways in which you could go, let's say, angles, right? But I am getting a sensation, I am feeling that there are other possibilities that you haven't explored yet that are coming forth that are going to be much more suitable for you. We just did the prophetic breathing, so there we go. We're getting the message loud and clear. There's something else. Something in your mind, you've set something up in your mind to be a certain way. I know that happens a lot. I can't do this because of that. I want to do that, but I can't because it's going to take that. And if I do this, then this is going to happen. So it's like you talk yourself out of something before it arrives. I think we all do that in some way. We have an excuse or a reason or a possibility that could turn into something. And part of this is trying to be really, really prepared all of the time. And part of it could be true, like whatever it is that, you know, you're thinking could happen because of whatever could be true. Or you could be creating that to be truth because of your certainty about something rather than just trying it with a certainty that it's going to work. You see? A lot of people have a certainty that it won't work, so they don't try it. And yeah, I'm just getting this message of adjacent possibilities, other things that you could be doing, things that you might not have thought of. And then we have a look at Leo. It's funny, I'm a Leo sun and my husband's a Pisces sun, because they had to both come up. And we have the progressions in your journey. And this is pointing to 10, 2, and 8 seconds. So that's 2. And that's 2. That's a 2. Okay. Something appearing twice. Something coming up as in connection with somebody else. The Leo vibe is really creative. A Leo moon is more of a show off, I would say, in many ways, than a Leo sun, depending on when you were, you know, because the thing is like, it depends on planets sitting around, what house your sun is in. Are there other planets sitting in your first house? You know, if your first house has Mars in it or something, then you're really, really driven, and you know, you can be really, really bossy at times, but just focused, right? So, you know, when someone says, oh, Leos are show-offs, not always, because it depends where this is sitting. And all people say, all Pisces do is cry all the time or whatever. Not always, right? Again, it depends what's going on elsewhere in the chart. But in this instance, it is pushing more of a shine for you personally with your creative pursuits. As the connection with the 5th house, it's also a connection I've always felt like this is a connection with, even though the 10th house really is in some way, I've always seen the 5th as the masculine, or, you know, a connection with dad or your first child, in the 5th house. You may be surprised also that your sign, okay, is connected with your mother somewhere as well. So, for example, my husband being a Pisces, his mum and his dad were a Pisces, right? Pisces sun. My mum was an Aquarius. I'm an Aquarius moon, right? My son, okay, my youngest, well, our firstborn son is a Leo, like me, Leo sun, okay? And my youngest son is a Leo moon. That's why I'm telling you he's a little bit more of a show off. He doesn't care. He's like, this is what we got to do. We're in a band, we got to do this stuff. And that's exactly right. But other people would see that as, oh, you need to calm down. You know, what are you trying to do? Like, and it's like, God, this is what you have to do. You have to perform. So it may seem normal, right, to you, whatever it is that you're doing. But for others, it may seem outlandish, right? Whatever the case, you got to still be yourself. So, and my middle son is a Gemini son, so he can be wishy-washy, whatever. I think it's funny. And I'm not sure whether my rising sign is Gemini, Taurus, what is it? Gemini, Taurus, or, oh gosh, what is it? Yeah, Gemini or Taurus or Cancer. I'm not exactly sure which one of them it is. Because I'm not exactly sure. I'm only using a pendulum to figure out what time I was born. I can tell you that when I was born, it was a full moon in Aquarius, and I saw the moonlight on my own face from outside of my body. And I know my mum was nursing me near a window where that moon came in. It was almost like she was like, oh, I've got to sit near this moonlight. It's beautiful. And so she sat there with the moonlight. So I saw myself. Right? But anyway, I saw myself nursing there, right? So I know it was early hours of the morning. And so I worked myself around all of that. But anyway, which reminds me when I did that, my son Josh, right, when he was like too old to be obviously, right, to have any milk or whatever. He used to go, some? I'm like, don't do that in public. Like, he'd be like, and the little hands would be going like that. Anyway, sharing a funny story. So, we're moving forward. We are progressing, but we have to be a little tougher, a little more confident, a little more, this is what's happening. This is what is going on. And when you do that, oh God, I know that when you start to put your foot down about something or say no or whatever, there's always someone who has a hissy fit because you're no longer doing it for them, or they're taking offense to it, or they're getting all sensitive about it, or it might be about them, or you got to do it. You got to go forward anyway. And this is the key here. You need to progress forward now. You need to do it powerfully. So it seems to me that this Leo energy also coming in here. Okay, so I keep on getting messages about these things. Something quite unexpected is about to occur on the planet. That's what I'm getting, right? And it's not just, it's not a terrible thing. It is a change, though, that's going to occur. There are delays to people's things, but these things are dissolving out anyway. We are all going to have to be really tough as we push forward. And we're going to have the skills and the wherewithal to proceed. And whatever happens that is quite shocking and controversial, some things, like there is so much things that will start to rise to the surface because of Pluto. There may be something here that we haven't talked about, I want to say, since the 1970s. I actually think that this has something to do with Vietnam. Something about the Vietnam War. Controversial. It's about to come out. Okay, we're going to have to be tough. Remember that there is a lot of stuff that is fluff and there is a lot of stuff that is real. And we're going to have to use our discernment for what is what. I want to grab some other cards. All right. Yeah, I'm actually literally getting my right arm is starting to get some sort of sensation going on here. So I'm trying to tune into it while I'm paying attention. What is this? I'm seeing the military police. From that time, not from now. From that time, because I'm seeing a really round helmet. Alright, what is this? I'm just going to have to close my eyes for a minute, okay? Because I'm getting some sort of information. I don't even have a crystal. Hang on, here we go. The MPs. Okay, the MPs, the military police. Alright, they're standing guard in Vietnam. There is some kind of important this is something that is German. Someone German arriving in Vietnam. Whether this person is arriving to negotiate or talk or something. It was some kind of agreement. That put an end to things, but there was an agreement. There's an agreement. There was an agreement. This person had an old-fashioned car. It was a Mercedes. It did look like something out of the 1940s or whatever, but it was not. The MPs were wearing a very dark green uniform, and their shoes were funny looking. I don't know whether they had a black capping at the top of the shoes. For whatever reason, and I think that this has to do with the United States government, the Vietnamese government, and the German government. There's some kind of pact here. And we may find out something with regards to this. All right. I'm sure we either will or we won't. Okay. Okay. It's something within the next few weeks. I meant to tell you that. And then it says, ask your angels about it. All right. So now sort of reconnecting. What does the collective here need to know? It says, don't stop. Don't stop whatever you're doing. This is a deck of 3 cards. Let yourself sparkle and shine. You're guided to be bold and show your bigger than life side to the world. This is what we've just said. The energy of opal. Now I'm kind of thinking that it had to do with minerals, metals, gold. Right, so under, what does this say? Progress, not perfection. Don't compare yourself to others or judge yourself. Instead, focus on how far you've come and all that you've learned. Indigo and crystal children. Is this the technology that we've been waiting on? Crystal technology. See, the opal came up. Okay, I'm decoding. Remain positive. All right. It's coming in bits and pieces. That's because there is such a timeline collapse of the control systems. So looking at something old like that, I want to say this has to do with Vietnam, perhaps even before it broke out in the way that it did, maybe in 1972. And here they're telling me the clairvoyance is coming out. Helping your spiritual sight, the book of Raziel, wisdom, information. And we're going to get more information. There it is. Oh my God. Okay, I don't need to continue, do I? All right, one more. Gentleness. All right, be gentle on ourselves. Archangel Sandalphon. Be very gentle with yourself at this time. Surround yourself with gentle people, situations, and environments. So I'm sort of just getting the message that they used sort of sound frequency. A sound frequency to alter brain waves. All right, that stuff can get me flagged on YouTube, so I'm just going to be really careful. But there was something that was negotiated before the war in Vietnam between the Germans, the United States, and Vietnam itself. This person of power with Germany had an old-fashioned 1940s type of Mercedes. I can tell because I can see that circular thing on the front, that logo sticking up at the front of the car. The MPs were wearing a darker green with a white belt and sort of cream colored shoes with maybe a black cap on, and that's just how I'm seeing them. So they are guarding this space. they're guarding the place, like they're guarding an entrance and allowing this car to come past. And those things are important in the near future. Anyway, I'm going to look into that a little bit more. And if anybody wants to know or whatever, maybe it's something that we will see. But anyway, I can feel like this, it's 111. How many times have I said this when I've been doing these videos? So it's like, yes, we're pinging on something. 3 people, 111, 3 people. Okay. There's more information, of course. I believe that there was some sort of secret agreement made, and we've been having results from that agreement for a long time. I'm going to look into that further. Perhaps it will come out later on Patreon or something, but keep an eye on things. So, yes, this is where we're at. A new moon in Libra is happening tomorrow, the 21st of October. New beginnings. A way of... still 1-1. Oh, it just changed. Still 111, but just changed. New beginnings. A new way of looking at things. Eye-opening information coming over the next months. Gold is still going up. I told you that. I told you before it was moving much. We are holding on to 2 coins. We're just hoping. There is situations that are coming to the surface. Different things that are aligning and different people that are also falling away. Trust in yourself and your feelings. Okay, trust in who you are. If you want a transmission of your own, you know where they are. Anyway, I need to get off that subject. But let me know what you think in the comments. I hope that you feel a shift happening already. Allow yourself to go through whatever it is that you need to go through, but then set your course again. And go into that Leo energy of like, I'm determined. This is it. Nothing's going to stop me, right? And I will see you real soon. Let me know also in the comments sort of things you want to learn about. You let me know. Until the next time, much love, many blessings, and bye for now.